Good day to all our esteemed viewers. If you are watching, kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel, on notifications, drop your comment and then click the like button, like, and also share with others. There's a breaking news, very bad news for all Nigerians. Donald Trump has finally struck Nigeria. 14% increase on any imported goods to the US. There's a very, very big trouble for all Nigerians after the NNPC also increased fuel. Mr. Chedo Michaels, where do we go from here as Nigerians? In the midst of poverty, Donald Trump has finally struck Nigeria once again.
I can tell you, Bola Hammed Tinunbu was warned before now to stay away with anything getting confrontational with Donald Trump, because Donald Trump have already looked at some certain things he wants to do, and it happens that Nigeria as a nation fall on the victim side. I'm not saying on the victim side, based on what the policies of Donald Trump want to have for Africa. Nigeria has not met that standard, and it's not Donald Trump's fault in any way. I can remember the second time of Donald Trump, how Bola Hammed Tinunbu, Buhari, and the rest of them, financed Biden's campaign as at that time. The records are still there, very much there, but I don't want to use that as a reference point, but what I'm trying to say is that, I think to an extent, Nigeria has not been able to launder their image properly within the international communities. As a result of that, they are trying, there's a bridge, between Nigeria and American allies in terms of bilateral relationship. And Bola Hammed Tinunbu has not actually deemed it fit to show a strong democratic leadership in Nigeria, especially with what is happening, and around. People are saying, why is Donald Trump always going to France? I think he has just jet out to Bola Hammed Tinunbu has also just jet out to France. Why is he always going to France? I remember there's something that played out when the French president paid a country visit to Oval Office under Trump. You saw what happened. Why are you using a proxy to appeal to Donald Trump on issues that are bordering around Sahel and other things? This tells you that presently now there's some level of the marketing of Nigeria as a state before the international communities. And I can tell you that in the same issue that has to do with ban or imposition of extreme tariff on some countries in Africa too, we are not affected. I can tell you, the guy from Burkina Faso was not affected in all the Trump trying to do. Don't look at those nations that has not been able to perform minimally in terms of providing democracy and leadership, and Nigeria is topping the chart at that level currently now. And with the way it is now, I don't think that Donald Trump will want to fine-tune any relationship with Bola Hammed Tinunbu, and that will bring an end to Bola Hammed Tinunbu's possibly second coming in office. But if you look at the issue of tariff, it has to do with image laundering. Who is defending Nigeria? Who is marketing Nigeria? The president, Bola Hammed Tinunbu, has not shown enough charisma in trying to revive or maintain, or even engage or break through in some international policies that is seen to be affecting Nigeria directly in terms of what the Western powers or the world laws want to do or want to achieve. Nobody is defending Nigeria in that regard. So the perception of the international community under Donald Trump, the international policies, it has not been that fruitful.
Mr. Chinedu, there will be a lot of poverty now in Nigeria because after now that fuel price have been increased with the 14% tariff that Donald Trump has struck upon Nigeria, Nigeria is already poor. Nigeria is the headquarters of poverty in the whole world now as I'm speaking. Are you not thinking that this may cause again another high level of hunger in this nation?
Yes, I think it's going to step up. The level of hunger is going to step up. But I can tell you, necessity is the mother of invention. It tells you that Nigeria needs to actually look inwards. Nigerian government and Nigerians themselves need to look inwards and see what they are going to come up with. So the burden of those tariff, 14% tariff on Nigeria, of course, it's going to cause more extreme poverty, but it's also a necessity where a lot of people are going to really sit down deeply and come up with something that can be able to stand as a force to checkmate the excesses of international policies on the country. If that is not done, then of course we are going to dive more deeper into poverty, scarcity, and the rest of them. Because I can tell you that America has a lot of influence around the world currently now, and Nigeria is part of American influence. But the way it is now, is Bola Hammed Tinunbu actually thinking it's not necessary you must go to France and begin to beg somebody to on your behalf to talk to the President Trump on your behalf? No, it's because you have heard you are not getting it right, and they know. So the more sanction these things are attracting, the more Nigeria goes down, and they go to the extent that it will begin to transform into revolution. It will begin to transform into mass protest. It will begin to transform into solidarity. It will begin to transform into rallies, and that rallies will be targeted on the government, and it will get to a point that the international community will not have any other thing than to look deeply into the issues of Nigeria and possibly seek for disintegration or a change of government.
And now we've seen, for example, when he became the president of the US, he said that he will go hard against any country that is financing terrorism. And what we saw he did, he struck immediately Somalia. Now we see what the Fulani herdsmen are doing in Nigeria. I don't think that this may make Donald Trump to be looking at that Nigeria may be sponsoring this kind of Fulani to annihilate the indigenous people of the land.
Of course, they already have the record with you. You can see when the revelation come from the Congress, there was a revelation attached to USAID, the funding, how it's been diverted to issue of Boko Haram and the rest of them, and of course the alarming rate of which Christians are being killed in Nigeria, and the continuous invasion of Fulani herdsmen, ISWAP, Boko Haram on the southern part of the country. So if the world peace makers are looking at it that direction, that if they don't intervene, it will metamorphose, or the multiplying effect will be very disastrous to Africa and other countries of the world. So the next thing they are going to do, like you said, is to target massive bombardment of terrorist camps and terrorist positions within the north and the southern part of the country.
Now, let's leave that. Let's look at what's happening in Nigeria. Edo State, the vigilantes has been banned. The governor was under pressure to ban them, and he has banned vigilantes in Edo State. And the governor was also in Kano to meet with Kano State governor for peace. But then people are asking, the southern governors, are they slaves in quote to the northern governors? Because when the Fulani herdsmen are killing people in Ondo, in Ebonyi, no northern governor ever come to beg or to meet southern governors. What do you have to say about the country called Nigeria, the way it's presently structured?
I can tell you presently now, like I said this morning, kudos to Mazin Namdekano, kudos to Simon Epa, and kudos to Yoruba nation agitators,